How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the channel. As always, if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. It helps out me a ton. You guys get plenty of fun stuff. I'm not going to finish the intro the way I normally do because Protect Me Shugomaru is not going to be a weekly series on the channel like 4 or 5 are now at this point. Anyway, doesn't matter yet. It's not going to be that. However, I did want to make this video because, well, it's a new series. I kind of like just putting out a video about a new series coming to Shonen Jump because I cover Shonen. And yeah, I just put it out there. If it catches somebody's interest and they didn't know it was there and I helped somebody find a series that they now enjoy, great. That's awesome. That is a wonderful thing for me to do, and that would mean a ton. So yeah, anyway, this one is not as up my alley as Ayashimon was, another new series that I covered a couple weeks ago with its first chapter and am going to continue to cover. But yeah, this was actually kind of enjoyable, I'm not gonna lie, even for not being up my alley. So maybe that speaks to the author's talent. I really need to remember to check the author's name and say the author's name. Hang on. Protect Me Shugomaru by Daiki Ihara. I'm going to put that in there because I'm sure the pronunciation was horrible. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Yeah, this wasn't necessarily up my alley, but it did end up being very enjoyable at certain points throughout the chapter, and maybe that just speaks to the talent of the author. And yeah, I will say, after having said that I did get to a point where I thought, are we just going to keep doing this over and over throughout the rest of the chapter? And I just kind of flipped through and then saw something that did catch my interest, being shonen, and then I flipped back. I was like, okay, it does evolve throughout the chapter. But at a certain point, it did feel like we were just going to do the same old gag over and over and over and over and over again for 39 pages. And I was not going to be for that. So I think it might have drawn on a little bit long in the opening bit. But with that being said, the way it developed as that ended up clearing out, it was pretty good. Setting things up, you have Shugomaru, who is from the Teko clan, and they are just a clan that lives to serve and protect the clan of the girls, Sanagi Ojo, I believe. I believe it's Ojo clan. Anyway, yeah, we have Shugomaru and Sanagi. Sanagi is the heiress to this conglomerate that just has a ton of money and a ton of power and whatever. So yeah, very important girl, needs to be protected, especially because she is going to be going to public school. This is by her wish that we figure out and whatnot. That's not really important. But yes, she needs a protector because she is very important. And they have word that this famous assassin Skull is after her. So, yeah, we also very quickly figure out that Shugomaru is way over the top. Okay, sorry. Had to do that for One Piece. If you're a One Piece fan, you probably know, at least from the anime. Anyway, okay, sorry. I apologize for that. Shugomaru is way over the top for the job of a bodyguard. He literally throws a grenade at a bee and blows the roof off the house. That's not what we meant when we said raise the roof, Shugomaru. Calm down, okay? He even explains this by saying that he gets so focused on the job that he just gets tunnel vision and he just goes hard in the paint. That's just what he does. So anything that could maybe possibly be construed as a threat in a way, shape, or form or another, in a very imaginative mind, he will see as a threat. The pages were kind of sticky a little bit on a copy of Shonen Jump, which Sanagi was going to go read. So, Shugomaru literally thought this book was a trap set by Skull that was like one of the magic books from Harry Potter with teeth and stuff, and thought this thing was going to maul Sanagi to death. Yeah. Over the top. So this is a gag that just keeps on going on and on and on. And there are very good parts to this gag. It is very enjoyable. Of course, being Sanagi's bodyguard, Teko has to follow her everywhere. So going to public school, he actually makes this device that plays a pretty big role, apparently, that we didn't even notice. That he literally puts this ring around her and it just has hands that extend. And this is literally like an anti-COVID stay 6 feet away from me device. It's literally what this thing is. Anything and anybody that gets close to Sanagi, the hands will just immediately smack it away. This actually ends up doing a good thing in the forefront, also in the background. But in the forefront, these dudes come up, try to hit on Sanagi, and these hands just start, well, giving these dudes the hands. And they're like, oh my god, we picked with the wrong girl. Holy shit, wow, she is relentless. Oh my god. And it literally just fights off these 3 dudes that were trying to Okay, that was hilarious. That was kind of funny, I'm not gonna lie. One other gag that I want to bring attention to this, I don't even know if I should be calling them gags, but moments where Shugomaru goes too far. Tsunagi is washing her hands in the bathroom, in the sink, with water, and there is a girl next to her. Shugomaru electrocutes this girl. This ends up electrocuting Tsunagi as well. Keep this in mind, it will come up later in the chapter. Tsunagi ends up going to the nurse because of this, and it turns out the nurse is actually an assassin. At first, you just imagine, okay, it's Skull. That's the assumption they go with as well. Sorry, something floated in front of the camera. It's probably a dog hair. I apologize. Anyway, yeah, they assume it's Skull. Before going further on with this, real quick, however, I want to touch on the little flashback that we got throughout the chapter. And it turned out that Shugomaru and Tsunagi actually knew each other from back when they were, well, even younger kids. For some reason, Tsunagi doesn't remember this, but Teko made a promise to protect her specifically no matter what until the end. So it was a very sweet little moment, I'm not gonna lie, especially after you see this kid just being extremely spastic this entire time, and Tsunagi's like, dude, why are you so obsessed with protecting me? And it turns out there actually is a legitimate reason, like they know each other personally, and she doesn't remember, but she is very near and dear to him. So yeah, this was a nice, sweet little moment that was actually done really well. I actually really liked it. I will say that we come back to this later and Tsunagi starts to remember. I actually wish that would have been held off. I actually think we could have had that happen later on. Not way later on, because she doesn't like fully remember everything, but she kind of starts to remember stuff. And yeah, I feel like that was kind of wasted potential of doing that this soon, but that's personal opinion. Anyway, yeah, moving on back to the other stuff. The guy we think is Skull, turns out later on his name is Fennec. They get a call after everything is all said and done, like, hey, turns out Fennec is after you too. And this guy's sitting there like, yep, that's me, Fennec. Great. And yeah, so, I mean, they literally, like, did not figure out that this dude was Fennec until he was on the ground already beaten, so that's kind of funny. But yeah, Fennec comes out with this giant Ichigo-style blade, like Ichigo's Shikai, the big curved one. Yeah, that thing, trying to slice this little high school girl down. Anyway, yeah, Shugomaru ends up getting in front of this blade at one point and just takes this massive blow to the chest. And nothing happens from it. Like, he's bleeding buckets. Bleeding buckets. Just completely unfazed. And he says it's because of his training. He says he has blood to spare because of his training? What kind of training gives you extra blood? Once again, that is some Bleach-style training. You see how much those people bleed in that series? Oh my god. Yeah, anyway, that was actually kind of dope, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, it's this wacky turn of events. Ends up, we go back outside. Fennec's on the roof having this girl held hostage, like, Ojo girl, you're gonna give yourself up if your family has any pride. Fair enough, whatever. I didn't touch on this earlier, but Shugomaru had frozen a kid in place outside because he was just being a nice person. Tsunagi's like, oh, I got class 1. He's like, oh, me too, cool, what's your name? I'm hot. And just got frozen because Shugomaru's spastic, like we already talked about, okay? So, yeah, they go back outside and it's raining now. So, this icicle spike ends up becoming even taller. Once again, this will come up, well, very quickly again, actually. So, yeah, I think this author really likes Chekhov's guns. At least I think that's what you would classify that as. Things being brought up and then specifically used later. I think. I'm not really that well versed on literary elements and whatever. Anyway, anybody, you can correct me down in the comments if I'm wrong. Doesn't matter. Yeah, so, anyway, Shugomaru ain't having none of this. And he throws this ice spike kid at this dude on the roof. And then it ends up growing out even further because it is still raining, bringing that back up again. And then a lightning strike hits this thing, hitting Fennec and hitting Tsunagi, just like earlier with the electricity in the bathroom. Fennec also ends up telling us while he's laying on the ground, being all like tied up and everything, because Tsunagi keeps going on about how Shugomaru is more of a threat to her than the assassins. And Fennec's like, no, actually, all of his really overprotective stuff was fending me off all day. And we see previous panels from the chapter with Fennec clearly drawn into the crowds, getting smacked away by the hands, and all this other stupid stuff. So yeah, Shugomaru was actually doing a fantastic job this entire time. And the reason it shocked Tsunagi at the end, the lightning did, is because Shugomaru went to go protect Windflowers, which were the flowers that he said he would protect to Tsunagi when she put one in her hair, like, everybody needs a look, yada yada, back to the kid stuff. It was another very nice moment. Actually turned into a funny moment because Tsunagi's like, I don't care what you said about the flowers. I don't care if I like those flowers. Protect me first. Me, then flowers, okay? Good job on the spastic stuff working out. Me, okay? Then flowers. Good? So, yeah, it ended up being a funny moment. And, yeah, with this all being said, this is pretty much the end of the chapter and everything. I skipped over some things. Obviously, this one is just for me to kind of get it out there a little bit. Obviously, if you guys haven't read the chapter or don't know about it yet, now you do. Maybe you want to check it out. Maybe you don't. Who knows? Anyway, like I said, it's not up my alley specifically. I am slightly more interested to go back and read it after reading this first chapter. But I don't necessarily think that's because of the style of series that it is. I think that's due to the talent of the author. So yeah, I don't know if this is one that is going to stick around, but I definitely think there is some talent behind it, and even though it might not be everybody's taste, I think there are things that can draw you in, even if it's not something you think you would particularly like. So I would suggest at least going and checking out the first chapter. I actually think it kind of surprised me. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully you guys enjoy the manga. Maybe you find a new series you like, and maybe I did my job. So I'll get out of here. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. I'm out.